Hi everyone, welcome back to Xamarin Tutorials. Once again, this is Satinder. So in the previous videos, we have seen the Xamarin Forms basic, how to make a content page, master detail page, navigation page, and now we will talk about the tabbed page. It is very heavily used type of page in any kind of phone programming. Basically, you might have seen that form of settings or for the navigation. It is a type of navigation. It is something similar which we did before for the navigation page, but now the way we are doing the stuff is different. One thing I want to mention, I'm doing all of these demos on Mac. You can do the same thing on Windows machine also. You do not need a Mac to learn the phone programming. You can do Android. You can run all of these demos in the Android and in the Windows Phone and Windows Universal app stuff also in the Windows machine. You do not need a Mac for that. All of these demos which are all available on the GitHub also, which I have made in Xamarin Studio, you can open the same file in Microsoft Visual Studio on Windows also. The extension and the solution file are same. The solution file is same SLN file, and the project file is still same. It is still CSPRJ file. Okay, so now let's talk about what is a tabbed page. Before we actually go into theory, let's see physically how what is a tabbed page. So tabbed page, now you may recall the tabbed page like this. You have this content area, and on the bottom you have a tab stripe which contains these options. So this is, if I click on this option, my stuff is populated here. If I see this option, my stuff is populated here. If I click on this option, my stuff is populated here. And if I have more options, I can click on the more and I can list out all of those things here. Yeah, it's pretty simple, pretty simple. And you have seen that all of these options are combined of an icon and some text. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. So let's come back and see what is a tabbed page. So a tabbed page is contains a list of tabs. You saw that, and a display area. And in the display area, we load the content of whatever you have selected. It can hold multiple pages, but it shows you only one page at a time. So basically, behind the scenes, it is holding all of the list of pages. But whenever you select any one of the page from the tab area, you see that selected inside the content area. It used the tabbed bar to hold the page icon and title. Now the icons are optional. You can only deal with the title also, but it always, the way this framework is designed means if you bring the icon also, then it looks awesome. It used the content area to hold the content of the selected page, means you see the content of the page which is selected in the display area. Technically, the tabbed page is inherited from the multi-page T class, and where T is the type of page. Basically, all of the page somehow get derived from the page base class. Now let's talk about the look and feel. You already saw the look and feel on iOS. On iOS, it comes on the bottom. On Android, I had some issues running the Android, but I should be able to show that in upcoming videos. In Android, the tab list of tabs goes on the top in the top section. And in the Windows Phone, it also goes on the top section, but in Windows, it is always in the lower cases, and you do not show the icons. In Android, yes, in the new APIs, it show the icon also. Okay, so now let's see the architecture. So we just saw that it consists of two sections. In iOS, you see the tabbed bar comes on the bottom. In Android, tabbed bar comes on the top, and even in the Windows Phone, tabbed bar is coming on the top. But it consists of two sections, tabbed bar and the content. Uh, let's see the default behavior. The default behavior is, as we spoke that tabbed bar is a list of pages. So as you keep adding the pages to your list, your tabbed bar will contain the list of all of those pages. See, this is the default behavior. So right now we have selected page number 1 and the first page In navigation page we call it a root page also, but now we don't need to tell that. The first page is always selected by default. If you want, you can change that also, but that is selected by default, and the content of that page is displayed in in the detail area. And now if you are selecting something else, suppose if I'm selecting page 2, so content of page 2 will be selected in the display area. It's pretty simple. One more thing, if you have pages more than 5 in your section, so you will always have a more tab. So once you click on the more, it will display you those options in a vertical stack. So how to load the list of page, we'll talk about that, but first let's go to the demo. Let's create a new app and see how things are working, because that is the best stuff. Okay, so let me create a new solution. Okay, in the solution, let's select forms app. The app name, let's keep the app name learn tabbed page. We have spoken about all of these options in the previous videos, but you give the app name, you define the organizer identifier in the reverse way, like com on the last and then your company name. Define the platform what you want to use, and the shared code, how do you want to distinguish the code. Two options are always there: portable class library and the shared class library. If you select a portable class library, your shared code will be combined as a single DLL, and it will be then distributed to rest of the rest of the projects. You can debug your individual code, you can run tests against your shared code. If you define a shared libraries, you just make your C# files, and those C# files actually go inside rest of the projects like Droid and Android, and then they get compiled. That is the basic difference. We will use the portable class library this time. Let's go next. The project name, I will give the learn tab page. We'll select all of those options. I'm going to keep the Git option because once we are done, I will upload this code on the GitHub, so that if you guys need any help or any reference, you can look into that. Okay. As usual, you see these three projects. This is the shared code where we are going to work. It will automatically do Android and iOS programming for us. If you are running this solution on Windows computer, you will not see iOS if you don't have a virtual or actual physical machine inside your home which is running a Mac operating system. But you will see two more projects, one for the Windows Phone and one is for the Windows Universal platform. Okay, so by default, you see that we get a page with the same name as of the project name, and these properties which tells what is the root page, where should I actually start this application running from. So this gives the name learn tabbed page. We'll keep it as it is, don't worry. The first thing which we will do, the content page is the default page when you create a new project is made by the content page style. So we are going to change that. Let's change this to tabbed page. So if you change the top also, you need to change the ending parameter also. Another thing which we need to change, you go to the C# class and now you change the derived stuff also. Basically you're done. Basically you're done. You have defined a tabbed page. But now if you go back to the definition, what is a tabbed page? It contains a list of pages so that you can show pages accordingly the type of whatever page you have selected. So what we need to do, we need to define the pages here. So let me start with defining the first page here. And the way you define the page here is just a full-blown page. Content page is the simplest type of the page, that's why I'm using that. You can also define navigation page inside a tabbed page. You can do all of that fun stuff, but just to keep everything simple, I'm just going to keep the content page. Okay, so what else we do in the content page? So you define content page dot content, right? Now inside the content, then you have to define a layout. I will go with the stack layout, And then inside the layout you need to define at least a single view, right? I already copied the view, and I can say that welcome to tabbed page. Okay, actually I will take off these options, and to the stack layout I will say that okay, keep it vertical options center, horizontal options as center. So now we have okay, you can do Control I to format everything. We have defined one page inside a tabbed page. Okay, let's try to run that. Let me make sure my iOS is the startup project inside this one. Okay, so let's see. Let's see what do we see right now. Oh, this is still my previous project which we did use in the demo. You see, welcome to tabbed page. I do not see anything here, but I do see a tabbed bar. This area is reserved for the tabbed bar. Okay, why don't we see anything right now? Any guesses? Yes, we did not define any title for the page, you see, and we did not define any icon for the page also. That's why we don't see anything here. Let's go back and do that stuff. Okay, this is the page. This is the page. We can also define this page in a separate page, which we will do in few minutes. Okay, so what we do when you define a content page, right? So you define a property here, and you say that okay, let me do page 1 for now, and now we want to define an icon also so that we can do that. Now what should be those what kind of icons those should be? These icons should be at least 24 by 24 pixels. um, for the learning purpose, or actually you can use these icons also. You go to the web and find for Google material icon. These are the free icons given by Google with the material design, and you can use them. You see, you have these bunch of icons. Let me load this one first. Once you select anything, you have the options that you want to download only SVG or a combination of PNG. It's always nice if you download the PNG, because then what you get icons for Android also, and iOS also, and the web also. So I'm gonna select these icons. So now there is one tricky part here. We did discuss that in the previous videos also, but let me talk that once again. Icons, you cannot use them as embedded resource. You have to individually deploy them into different platforms, and it's so easy. There is nothing to worry about that. So what we need to do, we bring these three icons and we put them in resources tab in iOS, and it asks you, okay, icon copy. So now you have those icons here, and the same thing I need to do it for the Droid. In the Droid, I put it in the drawable folder. Please listen it once again. I have spent hours finding the problem. In Android, you put it in the drawable folder. See, in the drawable folder here. And same thing, it will ask you if you want to copy. Yes. So now we are free to use this name. See, the name is IC accessibility. I will better copy instead of making a mistake typing that. So I can put that icon is this. So now see, it's very simple. When we run this in iOS, it automatically knows that where are my icons. They're always in the resource folder, and it will pick up from here. If you're running Android project, it automatically knows that I need to pick it up from the drawable folder. But yes, you need to copy them twice in these two folders. Means if there is any new option comes in coming time, maybe you can make them as an embedded sources, but as of now, this is the way. But images, yes, you can define images only once in in your shared project, and then you can make them as a shared option. Okay, dokie. So we did one icon. Let's download a couple of more icons also, so that we can do it all together. Okay, account circle. Let me download account circle also. Okay, for the iOS. Oh, I think I made one mistake in the previous one, because iOS and Android icon size could be different. So you need to, it's better if you do them that way. Okay, so you go to the resources, I do this, and now in the drawable, actually let me remove these, and first of all let me put these, and let me go back for accessibility, right? That's what we were using before, accessibility, and let me go to the Android. I already made that mistake already. I go to the Android and copy that. Okay, I go here and now I go back, account circle, Android, GUI, yes, and then this is what you copy. You do need to rename them so that the naming convention is same. Uh, you guys can do that, because we're running only in iOS right now. Once we come back to the Android, we can fix all of those things. Okay, so this is accessibility. Let's make one more page. So how I'm gonna make one more page? Okay, recap. In the tabbed page, you give a list of pages. We gave only one page for now, and now we are going to give it another page. So now tabbed page contains two pages inside that. Page 1, and now to the second page, I can give the name account. This is the title, and the icon is this. Okay, this is the icon. Welcome to account page. Okay, and now let's run that. If everything works fine, there is no exception, we should have a tabbed page with the two tabs inside that. Title should be there and the text should be there. Yes, we see that. You see, page 1 is loaded by default. Our icon is there. Our title is there. If I click on account, see, this is shifted. It says welcome to account page, and now the title is, this is highlighted, the icon is highlighted, and the title is highlighted. So basically, this is how you do this is how you do the tabbed page. Now let's make some more uh, formatted way, how you deal with the tabbed page. Now you can't actually define, if your application is going big, you can't actually define all of these pages from here, because it becomes hard to debug them also. So let's define different pages for them. Okay, so let me go here in the main app. Okay, let me give it page 1 new. Let me add one more page called page 2. One thing to keep in mind, you always use forms content XML. Yes, you can do just the content page also, but then you won't have the luxury to use XAML in your application. Okay, so now let's go here in the learn tabbed page. Let's copy all of this content from here and bring it here. Okay, content page. We just need to take off this. Okay, we are good. Hit Control I. It formats. It also gives you the beauty that if there is anything wrong in the code, it will not format. So that's why you should always do that. Yep, so now we have page number 2 also. Okay, so now how we bring those two pages here, right? We did discuss a very nice property in the previous section also, the local property. See, you have this local property, and how do you use that? Now, if you want to use any of the page, you say local. You see, you got those two pages. You just say local page 1, and then you say local page 2. Done. So now you can give a list of as many pages you want to give here, right? Okay, so maybe I can copy this once and I can do it again also. So now we have given 4 pages to our tabbed page. Let's run it and let's see. So what do you think? Now we should have 4 tabs in our tabbed page. See, yes, 1 2 3 4. Yeah, because I just copied pasted the stuff, we see the stuff it again, but this is the concept. You can add more. Now we spoke one thing in the beginning, that if you have more than 5, then what is the behavior? It will still display you everything on iOS, but it will add a more button. On Android, I think you can have a sliding bar. You can just slide all of those options, and same thing it does on the Windows phone also. You see these 4 options here, and the 5th is here. You click on this one and you see rest of the options here. You can still select anyone from here and you can go back, but you can't display all of them here. Okay, so this is the way how you can add the tabbed page. Okay, so let's do a summary. What did we learn so far? We did create a new tab page. We spoke regarding the tabbed section and the detail area. We did set up some child pages for the tab pages, and we also spoke regarding how can we do the icons in iOS and Android. We didn't speak much regarding another option, loading all of those pages inside the list page, because it is something related with how the data binding works. So what we can do is actually we can define a list of objects, and then we can define a data template inside the tabbed page, and then it will automatically merge. Think about the data grid you did a couple of years back in ASP.NET, and it's still doing. But we will cover that once we do the data binding in upcoming videos. We'll come back and we'll do that part. I hope you did like the video. Rock the coding. Bye bye.